Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Painting with a Grumpy Old Man. It's good to have everybody here today. I spent the morning shopping with my son, getting things I need, paints and stuff and food. So let me log everybody in. Now you're logged in. You can start talking to me anytime you want. So today I'm painting a little abstract that I think will be fun. These are just little steps. It's probably quite difficult for you to see, but putting staircase right here. I'm going to pull that up and out a little bit. Now, of course, I always save these and eventually they get put on YouTube. So if you don't get to see the whole thing, you can, in fact, watch it on YouTube, or you can watch it on my live with the rest of my stuff. And this is just a very light blue right here. You can barely tell it's blue. My world of dashes and dots continues on. And hey, Addison, how are you? Good to see you, baby. I'm painting an abstract today. It will be very cool. The beauty about abstracts is they don't have to be perfect. They can just be abstract. In fact, if they're perfect, they're probably not abstract. They're probably just abstract. Me and Coach Ryan went shopping today to get more art supplies and other things. Very interesting. I think I'm going to go with a really dark blue on the bottom here, but not so dark as the background. And then this is very, very weird, but that's why we call it abstract. It's really weird and really cool. Yeah, we went shopping. Absolutely hate shopping, but there you go. Sometimes you just have to do it. Okay, I'm gonna make a little dark purple here, reddish purple. We won't even be able to see it for reals, but sort of tighten up the edge of this staircase in space. I painted a lot of space out here, so I'm glad you're doing good, sweetie. Me too. I'm always doing good when I'm painting. So that's kind of cool. I drew a lot of stuff in here, and I know you can't see it really because you're watching on screen, but there's, obviously you can see this big thing going into space. But there's a lot more on there. Okay. right in that area there. I'm going to drag a little white out here. Just going to kind of mix that around in there. Okay, sort of an orangey look there. Peachy look. And I'm going to take my my blending brush right now. Blending brush. It has its own theme song. And I'm not going to go out. I have a circle drawn here, but I'm not going to go outside that circle. But I want to fluff this out a little bit because I'm going to go in with some different things here in a minute. Make sure I have no stray marks going on here. Okay. I'm going to go in with a yellow. Oh yeah, let's mix it with a little white. Make it a lot lighter. And I know that looks weird. Big old block of yellow right here in the middle. Just making sort of like a little sun. I got sunshine on a cloudy day. I think that looks pretty cool. Sunshine right there. Doesn't have to be perfect. I do want it really thick. If you were seeing this right next to it, you'd say, oh my gosh, that is so thick. Thick, 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 thick. And it is. I'm going to use this color right down here. I have a box that you can't really see, but it's here. Okay, nice little box there. And more white. Add more white. You want the top a little bit lighter than the sides. Here, this is a big old flat brush. They can be difficult to use if you're not careful where you lay it down. So before you lay it down, make sure you know where it's going. Because if you don't, you will have one crooked box. Yeah, like that. Now I'm going to come really with a weird color on the side here. Very pinky, pink, pink, pink. And I'm going to draw it over here like this. Boom. Again, I want this rather paint rather thick. You know, I think I'm just going to run this off the edge. Nobody will know where it went. I'm going to come across the top of this little pink stripe. And then down this side right here. And then down here. And then give it a little line right there. You see a nice, clear, clean box. So that's really cool. Just adding all kinds of colors today because it doesn't really matter. Since this is an abstract. I just want the colors to separate from each other. I don't want them to be the same color right next to each other. They can be close, but they need to be somewhat different. So, see that right there is pretty awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay, gonna do some weird stuff now. Out here in the weird world of strange space. I'm going to take some of this blue and red. If you remember your primary color wheel, blue and red make purple. Scrape that up, squish it out. And I have little mountains drawn in here, which I'm going to fill in with this dark paint right here, but it's not going to stay dark. This mountain range will not stay dark. It's going to be very bright, in fact. I'm trying to fill in these little things here. But this really has no rhyme or reason. It's just something cool. I like to paint it. There's multiple colors in this blue, purple, red mix here. So it's kind of, when I add the next part, you probably will see some different things come out. Okay, so there we have a big, dark thing. Over here. I'm going to come in with some mountain colors here. So that everyone knows this is my mountain range. Come a little. I'm actually going to put little clouds in there later. Different colors, and I'm adding sort of some different colors here. And I don't want it to be perfect. I mean, this is not an exact representation of anything. But let me take this. Well, you know, I don't know if I want to use this brush. This brush is kind of, well, maybe soften it up a little bit here. I'm going to take some of that same color there, and I'm going to make clouds beneath my mountains. Maybe I'll cut that up with a little white up here. More white. We have clouds coming across the sky here. You guys kind of cool looking. All right. I kind of like that right there. Like the mountains in the clouds. That's pretty. Okay. So this is, so far this is very, very cool looking. I think anyway. I don't know if you guys can see this, but wow, that is super, super duper cool. Woo, woo. I'd like to say hello and have a shout out to my friend Jose Trujillo, who helped me out with some tools and some tricks and some facts. So thank you, Jose Trujillo. If you like him, you can go watch him. Christopher, good to see you back. Good to see you back. I'm painting a whole lot of paintings today, so you can come in and out, and I'm going to be here painting because it's Saturday and I don't have to be anywhere. So I can sit here and paint in my garage all day long. I mean, my art studio all day long. So I accidentally called this a garage. But this is going to be an abstract, okay? So it's going to be cool. Super cool, just like me. And it will be fun to do. So I'm going to work on this little tree right here. You guys know I'm a big fan of magenta. And I'm going to leave the tree kind of black for right now because I want to put the tree things in. I can come back later. It's going to be tough right here, so but I'm going to do it anyway. Sky up there. I'm going to go a little darker on this. I think I can get away with a little bit darker. And by looking through the trees, you know, if you get upset by the fact that you've lost your branches, don't, because you can definitely come back and put branches in. Wherever you want the branches to be. So, but these should be a little bit lighter, I think. I mean, you're seeing some light in the sky, so it's. Dark blue coming through here. This is a very colorful fantasy world. That's real work. Okay, that's pretty. I'm gonna come right down here on the side of this with blue. Abstract painting. Okay, now I'm going to come back with my little old crumply brush, and I'm going to actually hit it with white. So, and this is I mean, these brushes are old and gross, but I like them. And I'm going to spruce up my tree here and make it white. I'm going to take it up into the sun a little bit. And you have to do this rather thickly, because if you don't, you will miss out. Okay, so there's that. Got the mountains. Now this is time to start to do the abstraction part of the abstract. And this is kind of fun for me because I don't have to have too big of a brain pan to do it. I'm going to use another cheap brush just like this one. And I'm actually going to take some of these weird colors like this and come down at angles and just put like little depth markings, little highlights. Maybe there's a little drag in the sky there. Kind of like that. Never know. Love it. I'll even have one going across my checkerboard here. You know, that is a really cool looking abstract. Okay. So weird, different, and strange, just the way I like it. Go some dark up here. Put some blue across the top. Bring it all down here. Let it run. Okay, so that's it, buddy. There's my abstract, my doodleism. Really weird, really strange, but kind of cool, man. Just kind of super cool there. But we're going to do some more paintings today. I just had this one already laid out from yesterday. I had a universe back. You can see stars still in between here. In fact, you know, let's go back and put some maybe slightly larger stars in. I think that would be cool, actually. I'll use my super thin brush. I don't have a pattern here. I'm just going wherever. Maybe I want to start right in the middle of the color. There, take that. Huh. Inside the little checker squares here, and then some stars there. Very subdued, but the stars are very bright. Okay. Yeah, I like that. That was good. Super cool. All right. We are done with this one. I'll give it to my son, and he'll name it. And we will move on to the next one. I always like to do an abstract every 2 or 3 paintings, just because I can. But I think what we're going to do here is going to be a landscape. I'm going to mix up a little bit more purple. That purple really works for me. I'm going to draw it out here. Take this big clump of red right there, big clump of blue, mix it together. It makes a very dark purple. And that's, you know, if you don't want to use black, this is what you can use. If you add a little bit of a different color to it, it will, like a dark green or something, it will actually make it very, very dark. But you can use this as black. I often do use this as black. And so when I'm dealing with paintings, this will be my black. So I'm going to draw something cool. Let's see, what are we going to draw? What do I want to draw today? I like landscapes. I painted a farmer's field yesterday, and I think I want to do the same thing today. But I wanted to, the first one was kind of an experiment. I wanted to use a little more depth on these so that I get more of the right perspective. You can see that the field is going away from us. Okay, so that's going to be my farmer's field today. I think in here somewhere I will come back and draw a tree in, maybe. I tried to do a windmill yesterday. It did not come out as well as I thought, so I'm going to try another windmill today. See if that works any better. So right now, I'm going to put my sky in. You can see I got a whole lot of blue on here. So different shades. Some cheap blue that I found somewhere. And it's very translucent. I'm not going to put a lot of emphasis on the dots and dashes at this particular moment. So I got a whole bunch more paint today, so that was awesome. If you go over the line, this is not coloring, people, so you can go over the line. Do not be dismayed. Do not be upset. And this is acrylic. If you want to, if you paint with acrylics, you can actually keep a hairdryer with you and dry it in like about 10 seconds. I mean, it doesn't take long at all to dry. But what I want today is a very, very light sky. And so I'm going back to my normal dots and dashes, you guys know. But you don't cover up everything, you just going through. Active sky. If I had a big sky, I'd use the bigger dashes. A lot of things people tell you is like, don't use the pure whites. Okay, but if you're painting on wet paint, it's not going to be pure white when you're done. It's going to be a lighter version of whatever you're painting on there. In this case, I have blue, so it's going to be a lighter blue. And I don't really want to have too much emphasis on the sky today. I want to put more emphasis on my fields. And so I will have tiny little guys here. And this is not hard to do. I mean, you don't have to go to art school for this. Come on now. This is not an art school thing. But I love the way I did the other one with the sky. But I'm not doing that today with this one. I'm going to have a little bit of a brightness in it, but I'm not going to overdo it. Just dashes and dots. Come straight across here like that. Well, so kind of know where I'm going to be at now. I'm going to come back and put some different colors in this. I have a lot of white in it, so I'm going to add some maroons and purples in the sky. And this is the brush that curves on me a lot, so I do get a lot of grays in this. And I'm just doing this to change the sky up a little bit. I promise you it will not look like this when I'm done, or anything like this when I'm done. Use my apron right here. Oh, we got more people on today. Tomsky's back. Gallery 56, hello, welcome. Let's see, L. Taller Elta, I think, or E Taller, and okay, I'm going to guess that your name is foreign, so I'm going to call you L. I'm going to call you L. Why? Because I can say that, unlike the other ones. I'm just putting debts and dots on here for the folks that come. If you have anything you want to know, just say so. If you want to talk to me, that's fine. I'm happy to talk to you. I went on today to another live. I usually like to go watch Jose Trujillo on his lives. If his mouth gets too bad, I just cut off the sound and watch him paint. But he's hilarious to me, so I watch him. I watch his show. And he's an amazing artist. You should definitely go on eBay and buy his stuff if you get an opportunity to. Or even better, you could go on eBay and buy my stuff at MIT8R_2742 and score one of my 99-cent auctions. I have auctions of all different levels. They're not all 99 cents. Some of them are higher, but they're not much higher. They're like $1, $2, $3. And you can bid on some beautiful artwork that I've done, and by accident mostly. But you can go in there and bid on it, and maybe you'll get lucky and get the bid. You know, you never know. I'm putting this on rather thick right here. I know it's. If there's a rule in art, I intend to break it. I usually have some yellows in the sky, but I don't feel like yellows today. I have some, you can see on my palette here, I have a few yellows. I really don't feel like a lot of yellows today. I feel like lavenders. Maybe on my next painting I'll feel like yellows, but right now I just feel like I want to go with cooler colors a little bit. That yellow is a very warm, very bright color. I love them. I use a lot of them. In fact, I had to go out and buy more today. But, hey. Got to drive in Conyers. That's always a treat. It's funny because it's not a big city. Conyers, Georgia is small. But yet people drive like they're from Boston. You know, they're just trying to drive their way in between cars. And I'm like, I felt like saying, hey, what's the matter with you? But I didn't because I'm not Italian. And that would have been offensive. but I've offended many people in my life without even trying. So apparently I have a special skill. And I'm just whitening up where I want light to come from. It's no big da. No biggie da. This is just the impressionistic view of things. I'm adding in a little magenta pinks here because, you know, I like them. So I like to scatter them out through my skies everywhere. Every once in a while I'll pop in a dark one, because I know that I can go back. And this really makes a really kind of nice pinkish, purplish lavender. And all I'm really attempting to do is to blend some colors here and there. A lot easier when you're not doing water. If you're doing water, that gets a little tougher because if I have water down here, I have to reflect all this stuff that I have in the sky, and it's a lot of work. I love doing water ones, so I do about 5 million boats. Buy one of my boats things. They're good. They're my most popular. That and my abstracts, which I just did one a minute ago. So I'm going to leave the sky at that right now. And I am going to draw in with my brush. I'm going to take this. This is not black. It looks like black, but it's actually purple. I'm going to draw in a windmill just in the background. Not really going to see it. And I'm going to water down this dark, dark, dark purple because I have wet paint in the sky, and when you have wet paint, you need wetter paint. Okay. And just for giggles, because I can, I'm going to make my windmill, maybe, grab some of this white over here, I can make my windmill yellow orangey colored back here. Need that sound, the pews, or it doesn't work. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and fill the top in with just the dark. Or not. Or maybe I won't. If you get too, when you're dealing with small stuff, if you use too fine a brush, you know what? This is farmland. This needs to be this color. But I don't want, I'm not going to cover up that yellow. I'm just going to go in between it a little bit. Okay. And then back to my black top. Oh my goodness. Did you see that, people? That never really happens if you're a real artist. Oh, wait a minute. It happens all the time. Okay. Now, I'm going to come back a little while and do some more work on that, but right now I'm going to leave it be because it's thick and I want it to dry. And I'm going to come back with a couple different colors here. This one is my red ochre. I live in Georgia. We have red clay. And this is my burnt umber. You know, it's a fancy way for us artists to say, hey, it's dark brown. Burnt umber. Awesome. Okay. I like to use my finger. Get over it. The beauty about being an artist is you can do whatever you want. Okay. I can always come back and touch up anything I didn't approve of in the first place. Okay, and this time, I say okay a lot. Has anybody noticed that besides me? Okay, 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 okay. I promise you I don't have a problem. It just sounds like I have a problem, but I don't. It won't, I tell you it won't. I'm gonna use this bad boy right here. It's a flat brush. Getting old, I'm gonna have to throw it away soon because when they get too stiff, they're really hard to use. And this is getting close. What I'm gonna do here, show them these little areas here. Okay. Then I'm gonna come down here like this and take away my mistakes. Now this is something you rarely see me do, which is to paint on a white canvas. I don't do that very often. But I have so much paint here today that I said, I'll just go ahead and paint on the white thing. White scares you sometimes. Okay? Now, you're probably noticing that every other row is this lighter Georgia red clay here. And again, it doesn't matter if I go over a little bit, because farmers' fields are not perfect, people. Work it in. This is not impressionism, this is just filling in color. And every other row is going to be this ochre. This is like a burnt sienna for you artists out there. This red ochre looks very similar to burnt sienna. And so, if you're wondering what color red ochre is really basically a more bricky colored burnt sienna. Okay. Here we go. And also, when you're painting on a plain old white canvas, there is a tendency for it not to cover all the little holes and stuff. And I don't like those little holes shining through the sky there. Okay. Yesterday, my farm grew green vegetables. Today, I think I'm going to have it grow lavender vegetables. So it should look kind of pretty. Sometimes I put a fence in front of them, but I don't think I'm going to do that today. Now this burnt umber, it's not umber, it's umber, is a little bit darker than the row before. This is going to be the areas between the rows where it's a little dark. Okay? And that will indicate that it's actually lower than the areas that are red ochre. Now there's a lot of paint on this canvas right now. And that's good. I like it this way. Now I'm going to flip this over. You guys have seen me do this before that work with me, right? But I'm going to flip this over so I can get it from a different direction. And I work the paint. If you work with oil paint, you know that you have to actually work the paint to make it work. Okay. Coming back more dark. Burnt umber. Burnt umber, burnt umber. It's just fun to say. I can even make it burnter. If I want a little darker right here in the foreground. Nice dark color here. I'm looking on the screen, I can see. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Have my same crew on here, my homies. Got my homies on here. My students hate it when I use young people vernacular. Vernaculars are words that are common to the language. And they're like, you're not cool, don't try to be cool, you're embarrassing yourself. Stop it. To that I say, it's an old person's job to embarrass young people. It's in the handbook. Deal with it. Okay. Try to fill in one of these holes. And I don't want this to be exactly perfection, but I think that's pretty good right there. Come through and find the holes that I missed. Okay. So that's nice. I'm going to pull out my famous or infamous brushes that I use to, oh Mike, why'd you do that? Put that right there. I'm going to make a field in the back. I'll mix the green. And you guys have seen this brush before. It has really seen better days. But it makes great tree lines. Stuff like that. Come back in here. Blue it and yellow it up a little bit. I like tree lines out here. Georgia's full of trees, so that's good. Come out here. And there's no farmer field that just meets with the sky, like you plowed all the way to the very end or something. There's some grass at the end of it. Reality meets reality here. All right. I kind of like that. Nice, as they would say. So I got that field going back there. I got my red, which is going to be the high fields. And I'm actually going to make a field of beauty here. So it's going to be really nice. Little rows of pink. All right, I like this color. I'm going to get a little bit more of that magenta. Magenta's not a naturally occurring color. It's a mixed color. You won't find it in nature. But man, it's so pretty. And it sure is. Very pretty. And I don't cover all the dirt up, because you don't want to cover the dirt up. You can't cover all the dirt up in nature. That's insane. It's a very pretty little field of pink and red. I'm going to come brighter on this one because it's right in the middle. Just such a very pretty color. Let's add a little red in there. Get some different variations. And apparently I did not get enough of this. I don't like to use too much of, I love to use, let me rephrase that, I love to use my magenta, but I never have enough, so I'm always like, let's not use too much of it. I'll get some dark. This is, just a little field of these flowers here. Okay, that's pretty. What do you guys think? You guys think this is good? Because I do, and since I'm the person that matters. I'm just going to kind of add in my finishing touches here, and this one's going to be done now. That'll be the second painting I've done today, so. Apparently I need that even thinner. Just a windmill in the back. Wouldn't see these, they fell behind the tree over here. A little windmill. Alrighty then, that's really nice. I don't think I'm going to do much more to this particular one because I think that was beautiful. Beautiful. Yes, I love it. I love it. If anybody's on there, feel free to talk to me because hey, it gets boring talking to yourself. Let's do something a little different here. Okay, let's draw this in. We have a road that comes like this. But actually, I want it to go like that. So, I don't want you, this is called whiting out in the painting world. Okay. So, God bless the broken road. And I'm going to go ahead and paint this in nice and dark. Because things are going to be happening. See my road here. My hands move really fast. I don't know why. Probably because I'm used to writing. And I was a mason. I laid blocks and bricks for many years. And so I ended up kind of weird stuff. Okay, I'm going to pull out old Scrabble Tooth, the brush again. I'm going with a really light. Get a little bit up there. I'm going to come in here. And I know this isn't perfection here. I'm just putting these in. This is not going to be the background, don't worry. But I do want to have these in here for when I later have to come back and fill in things in the forest floor. And I don't want to do that because then I'll paint over something that I already had. Just some blues. Just some blues and stuff. That'll do for right now. And now I'm going to do this bad boy right here. And these colors back here, you notice are just sloppy and messy, and that's fine, because they don't have to be good. Something fell, I'm sure it was important, but I don't know what it was. Where are you? Find you in a month. Alright. So, I'm going to come up in here like this. Ooh, it's a little brighter now, darker than I want it to be. And this is going to get a lot lighter right here, people, so don't say, what is he doing? If you're asking yourself what I'm doing, chances are I'm asking the same question. Okay, so we got that on there, and this had a brown background, and so it's really dark and hard to see, but we can overcome. We will overcome. Love that song, one of my favorites. I'm going to come up in here and dash and dot again. No, not the dashes and dots, Mike. Yes, the dashes and dots. Deal with it. I'm a dashes and dots kind of guy. I'm making the dashes and dots bigger here because I am, in fact, going to come in with my smoothing brush. Smooth this out. Let me go ahead and bring this all the way over. Down to the road. And this will get darker as I go, simply because the white will be running out and the blue's already there. Going back and forth. But don't blend too much, people. If you blend too much, you'll end up with a dead sky, and that's no good. But right now, that's perfect. There we go, there we go, there we go. Christopher, are you still there? Because if you are, man, you talk to me. Talk to me, Chris. Don't leave me hanging out here. You guys have seen this before. We don't know what's going to happen, but we know something's going to happen. I really like seeing that I get a lot of the same people back on my shows. Kind of encouraging to me. I know this is starting to look slightly more like a sky now. Okay, but it's not yet. It is not yet a sky. Okay, I am going to switch brushes here for a moment. If I can find the other brushes. Here we go. Uh-oh, something just bit the dust. Nobody cares about you, you bit the dust. It was paint. Ah, love this brush right here. Okay. Now I'm going to come in here with this. Now here with this. Knock that off a little bit. They're not all winners, people. At least until I fix them. Very thick right here. I'm just scrabbling this over here. Very thick yellow. You don't want to waste paint, you can always do this. Wherever your paint's already dry. Okay. And we come in with this brush. I love this brush. I think I'm going to have to name them. What should we call them? What should you call this brush? I'm going to call it Bob. Okay. Clean and dry this brush again. And I'm gonna I know this is going to have sort of a green look to it, and I don't really care because what I want to do is put a bunch of foresty colors in here. And I just use the corner of this brush. I don't use the whole brush. Blend it, blend it, blend it, blend it, blend it. Starting to look like something. Don't know what. Okay. Moment of truth. Moment here being kind of bright in the background. And if I want it darker back over here, I just simply keep blending it till it darkens. That's looking good, man. Good there. Let that dry for a second. And I'm going to use my Wonder Brush here. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw my road back in. Again, most of the time when I'm painting, I like to paint things that are like fantasy worlds that I'd love to go to. And there won't be people there because I want to be alone in my world. Okay. That's good for right now. Just a little road. And okay, so this is ready to go. Now, I'm going to have to dry my blending brush out really well. And do a good job here. Again, you guys can watch this on Instagram later on, or in a couple of days, it'll probably show up on YouTube. My son is my marketing exec. If you want to buy my stuff, it's at MITAR_2742 on eBay. There we go. Really lightly. When you're blending, you have to go really lightly, because if you don't, you get this really horrible look. Streaky look. Yeah. Now it's starting to blend out really nicely. Okay, I think we can go with that. I think we can go with that. I'm going to come back with my brush. I shall name it Michael, because he's not very good looking, but he's very effective. I'm gonna put some blues in here. Now these don't have to be, I don't want them to be like really, I don't want them to be really noticeable plants and stuff. I kind of want these just to be sort of a background. So you can see, I mean, I'm putting it on very lightly. Just has to be a little bit brighter blue here, darker blue. This stuff will, and it's on paints like this is about blending. You have to really blend a lot. Hanging over, plants hanging over the road, because that's what happens, people. Plants hang over your roads, especially in my front yard. Plants are hanging over everywhere. All the way to the forest. And this is, I'm trying to do a forest scene here, and I don't know how good it's going to come out, but we are going to find out. Right now the colors look really pretty, so that's pretty awesome. Okay, here's the hard part. Come down my road with a big black trunk. Okay. Maybe another big black trunk with them, because we're hiding this stuff in the forest. Okay, these are going to be the big trunks. I'm going to come in and throw some little trunk stuff, and they don't have to actually be trees. They can just be little ideas of trees and stuff. this tree, I'm going to do a little differently. So I'm going to go ahead and lock these trees in. I'm just going to put the first coat on here, and you can't really tell because it's really dark. But I'm just putting the little pine trees in here, and I'll bling them up later. Just want to separate them out a little bit. But I don't want this forest thick. You have a nice dark set of trees over there. And I'm actually going to do the same thing over here, except I'm going to come down and make a different kind of tree here. This doesn't have to be perfect. A little dark tree over there, and it's kind of hit by the light a little bit. And I might come back and add some yellows to it. But this tree right here on this road, now you gotta have these trees back here. And that's how you make these trees, people. You're just tapped in. So as you get farther away, I want more and more sort of ephemeral trees. You really won't see them. They're just kind of out there in the dark. Now I'm going to come in and change the color of this road. It's actually going to have, reflections coming off of it like that. Swing it down. So you can see it's a road in the forest. With this guy right here, we're going to make him stick out. This tree's going to stick out. It's going to be on fire. And that's what we want. We want an on fire tree. Not in real life. We don't want fires in real life. Hey Tricia, good to see you. We're painting a lot today. You can see I got a lot of paint on my whole thing. I'm just doing a kind of a darker forest thing right now. This tree out here. Let's get a little bit darker here. Gotta make it watery or it won't work. And the branches don't have to be that dark. I mean, there's gonna be some stuff in the back we don't even know what it is. Some ideas of trees. I just want these in the background to, there's a forest back there, people. And that's kind of cool. All right. I hope I'm saying your name correctly. It looks like Rad Teresa or Rad Trisha. So I hope you're as rad as you claim to be. It's radical having you here, that's for sure. Okay. Now, everybody's going to hate me because I'm going to make this really so different from the rest of. No, with the blue, take that. I can have whatever color I want because I'm the artist. Okay, and that's basically what the tree's going to look like. I'm going to give it a little bit of light. Light in the forest. Alright, then I'm going to go back to Herbert. I'm naming that's today's thing. I'm naming my brushes today. So, if you don't want to play, you don't have to. But I want to play. So I want this tree to be like the tree. You know what I mean? The tree in the forest. And Herbert does a good job making me leaves. Isn't that beautiful? I mean, that's pretty right there. I love that. I'm going to come with this guy down here. Here's my road. It's down here like this. And from back over yonder. God bless the broken road. Blah, 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 and you know the rest. Okay, that's looking good right there. Got the light coming through in the background through that beautiful tree. Herbert's done his job. Now I'm just going to go back with my fan brush and highlight, and I think we'll have a painting that if somebody else likes it, I'll say, hey, I did that. I'm just kidding. I probably won't say anything. And I'm going to go with some greens here, I know. So passe. I don't want it to be too light. I want it to be, you need to know it's a tree, people. I'll put my lights out here, so if you don't have the lights on it, then people start wondering who you are. What's going on with this guy? You don't have to do any lights. Where would the lights hit? They would hit right in here, right? Every once in a while, something's going to sneak back. Not too far back. That gives it a nice bright color there. I'm going to come over here and kind of do the same thing here. Only I'm going to make this one even better. Because this bad boy has some real sunshine on its edge. But I didn't want to get too bright. And I'm going to leave a few blues back in here. People are like, blue, don't do blue. I can do blue. Blue gives me depth. Man, that's pretty cool right there. You need this painting, people. Go on my eBay and buy this sucker. It is awesome. Some strokes in there. Man, that one's pretty. This will be on, they'll probably, my son will probably put this on for like $3.99 or something, you know. He's like, that one's sold pretty bad. I'm like, okay, son. Thanks for sharing. You know what I want to do? Okay. Because I'm an artist and I just can't leave things alone. Well, that was wrong. Scrape that off. Let's light this road up a little bit. I mean, there's going to be some light in this forest. Okay. Gotta know there's a road here. Watch the light. Oh, watch your fingers, Carver. Alright, there we go. I think I like that road, just like that. Kind of lumpy and bumpy. There we go. That is what I'm talking about, people. That's what I'm talking about. Through the magical forest to the enchanted tree. Man, that's so pretty. That's so pretty, so much, so pretty. I loved it. So for those who want to see the front-on version, this is it. Woo, 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 woo. Hey, who we got joining us here? How you doing? How do you say your name? Noitz? That's N-O-I-G-H-T-T-S. I'm going to call you Bob. Unless you got a real name. Or I'll call you Noitz. Who knows? But I just painted this one. It's pretty. All right, we're going to go paint another one. Why? Because I have a lot of time tonight and a lot of paint to use. So just to recap, I painted this one, Lavender Fields. Isn't that beautiful? Little windmill in the back. I'm an impressionist painter if you've never been on before. And And now I did an abstract first. This is my abstract. I have no idea what it is, but it is an abstract, and it's kind of cool. So all these are going to be available on eBay probably by tomorrow. So this is really cool. Buy me! All right. So I've done 3 of them today. I'm flying. If you ever hear somebody say that artists don't make mistakes, yes, we do. Okay, I'll paint over that later. But that was an epic fail. And I think I'm going to have time to paint one more today, because I have to rest up for church tomorrow. But I think I want to do something really super duper cool. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to take my paintbrush here. Hasn't been used. Wet it down a little bit. And I'm going to go through here. I'm going to scrape. I don't like to have this paint getting old on my palette because it's really hard to clean if you do that. And yes, this looks kind of brown, but that's okay. Don't worry, my friends. Everything will become available to your senses soon. So hey, you guys can feel free to tell me your names on here because I don't know anybody. I don't scam anybody. I'm not calling you about NFTs. I don't care. I just want to have fun painting. I'm just a painter and a school teacher for my beautiful, awesome students, who I love to pieces. Okay. So you can talk to me. I will not degrade you or any weird thing like that. I don't cuss, so, well, not unless you really make me mad, but I try very hard not to ever do that. It's disrespectful. I don't like to be disrespectful. Unless you deserve it. No, I'm sorry. I'm okay. Everything's okay. I have these sponges that are used for making texture and stuff in art, and I never use them unless I'm cleaning my palette. They work so good for cleaning your palette. Sponge it off, dump it in the water, squeeze it out, and repeat. Rinse and repeat. So if I get too much junk on my palette and I want to clean it off, I don't want it to dry up. When things dry up on your palette, you don't get them off again. You'll be hours peeling that sucker off, and nobody really wants to do that because it sucks. I'm just having so much fun today, joining me here. I taught myself how to paint. That's most probably why it looks the way it does, but I don't care if people buy it, and I enjoy doing it. Man, I have a blast doing this stuff. Man, it's crazy how fun this is. If you don't do it, if it's not fun for you, don't do it, people. Just don't do it. Because this is fun. This is fun stuff. I enjoy painting. I enjoy talking to people. I never really know who's a robot or who's a human person being. If you're a robot, take me to your leader. All right, so what are we going to paint now? Let's see. This is where it gets interesting. I don't have a clue what to paint. I think I know what to paint. I just came up with it. I just boom, just like that, came up with it. The muse has struck me. I don't say weird things like that normally. The muse. I need the muse. I don't need a muse. I don't want people around me that think they're a muse. That's my problem. I'm going to paint all kinds of weird stuff today. And I'm not going to do, I'll still do, it's still going to end up being it'll still end up being an abstract, but I'll still end up doing impressionist paintings. That's what I do. They're impressionists. They are impressionists. Oh man. What have I done? Give me up, Captain. I'm just putting this up here as a little light. I don't really care about this area here because I'm actually going to paint over most of this. I always like to have a little light in the background that I can have looking nice. Some sweet rays here anyway. Okay, that's good. That's beautiful. That's very beautiful. I'm just going to lightly go over this stuff. Get a little weed, not the kind of weed you people are thinking about. A little bit of weave out of my brush. Okay. I'm going through the brushes big time here. A lot of paint on this palette right now. A lot of paint that you'll never see again. But I need it because I want it to do what I want it to do. It's going to be a very interesting painting, but I thought that I might like to do waterfalls. I know a lot of people like waterfalls, but I love them. I was just at the river yesterday with my class, and we're doing terrariums and small biomes, and they were collecting stuff from around the river, the shoals. They are really beautiful out there, and there's a lot of different plants and stuff out there, mosses and stuff. They make great terrariums. So that's what we did. We went out there and had a blast all day long. That's what we did for school, and so it was awesome. Y'all see Addison's name on there? She was one of them that went with us. Just touching it very lightly at this point. If you touch it too heavy, you'll ruin the effect. It won't actually blend, it'll just kind of streak. So you gotta kind of soft it out. Really soft. Now, I'm taking a chance here. Soft. Don't want to get too bright. Soft it out. Turning a very grayish color here, which is just fine. All right. Now we're going to do what we're going to do. And right here, we are going to use this bad boy, and I'm actually going to pull in some burnt umber. Yeah. Apparently, I'm just going to open it. Okay. Okay. And I can add a little blue to this burnt umber, and it will darken it right up. The dark umber is the fancy way of saying brown. Oh, my love. Okay. So here we go. I'm going to take some paint on here. I'm going to come right down here like this and make me some jungle cliffs. I want to bring them all the way down here. I want the cliffs to go way down. So pretty. And go right on down to the water down here. was water, did you? And we're going to call this one Twin Waterfalls. I don't know what we're going to call them. Just make that up right there. But you're gonna make it kind of jungly, kind of misty jungly. So be ready. It's gonna be good. Okay. I'm gonna bring it down lower because I want another waterfall right here. And you see, I'm not trying to cover all of the paint that's already there because I don't want to. I want this nice and thick. And I want it at different heights, fading off into the night. I'm going to come on down here with this. Put a little bit more right there. Now this is going to have to dry a lot before I can actually make waterfalls, but there are things that we can do in the meantime. And you will see that in just a second, because certain provisions must be made. I'm just playing the game, playing the long game. I'm going to come back with some, if I can find it, burnt sienna. Way out here like this, burnt sienna. And it's much brighter than the burnt umber, but not so bright that it's distracting. And I'm putting it in different places because rocks are not the same color everywhere you look. You need different colors. And this is one of my favorites. There we go. Gives a depth that you don't get otherwise. So this is what we're doing now. I hope everybody can see what's going on here. Burnt sienna going here, and it's blending in somewhat, so it gets darker and lighter, jaggedy, and never know what you're gonna get. So basically, that's what I'm going to do with my cliffs for right now. They have to dry. But until it dries, I really can't do anything. So what I'm going to do is, hey, what's up, Coffee? Is I'm going to do the bottom right here. Because when you have waterfalls, they actually fluff, sort of. I don't know what the right term is here. They actually get kind of fluffy at the bottom. You get that mist and the steam and stuff going on. I'm lightening this up a little bit just because I want it lighter. Okay, where's all my brushes? I have about 4,000 brushes. It's the beauty of being me. If I don't have a brush, I run and find another one. And lo and behold, no blending, I know. Get off there. Got a little bit of the brown in the white and didn't want that. You're gonna blend it back out. All right, that's a little bit better. playing a little bit better. Okay, so how do I use that? I'm going to use this bad boy. And there is literally so much paint on here right now. Don't be afraid to use your finger. Finger's a great tool. You can make anything with your finger. Scrape off paint you don't want to be on there. Whenever you do this, okay, don't freak out. Take it out. Don't freak out, just take it out. You can do anything you want in your world. Don't be stupid and put your same paintbrush back into the thing, like I was doing there. I'm just gonna brush it out. Take that. I'll do it my way. Sometimes you just gotta get tough with it, people. If it doesn't want to listen. Okay. Now on the bottom, we have the champion. And this will take some while to dry. So, trying to get as much done tonight as I can. I'm going to take white, but I'm going to put it just like on one little part. I'm going to start right here. I'm just simply going to dry it off. Go back and forth like this. And I'll circle it up. You try to do it using the flat part, it doesn't work too well. Okay. I'm just trying to get a little bit of mist in here. That's about all I'm going to get to happen for this one. It's just too wet for me to do much of anything else. When it dries, I'll come back and redo the things it wants me to. Right now, I'm going to come back with one of my raggedy brushes that I love so much. That's not raggedy. You're not raggedy, you can't play with me. Come in with some raggedy brush right here. And I'm going to go right down here on the bottom. I know. This has got to be put on rather thickly. Those look a little bit like buildings back there, don't they? No, they're not. I'm going to come in with a sort of a... And now it's blue on the bottom. Okay, good. Good. All right, Trusty Dusty. I know. Coffee Coffee Seco. Sounds like a company. Where do you work? Coffee Seco. Man. I'm gonna do something you probably weren't expecting. I want different levels here. Okie doke. Alrighty then. And then a few colors in there. Okay, now here's a cool thing that you need to learn. Alright, say it gets really wet and you want to do a waterfall. Decide where you want your waterfall to be. I want mine to be right here. So I'm just going to scrape all of this paint off here. Okay. And I also want another waterfall, a smaller one, right here. And that's where I'm going to put waterfalls. Right. Later on I'll come in and add some greens and stuff. But this is where we're going to put our waterfalls. And I have several brushes, sand brushes. This is a little small one. And I like it because I can do a little bit finer work with it. Here, I'm just going to pull this down. And just, you see it's blue, and you're like, well, waterfalls are white. Yes, they are. They're white. Thank you for telling me. But that was facetious. I am sorry. Apologize for that. I put my white line of water at the top. Because this is getting ready to roll over. I mean, it doesn't just fall. It rolls over. The noises are important, especially when you get my age. Okay? And then once you got that, you're going to have some rippling effect here. Little ripples of maybe goes over rocks or something. Water is not always blue, people. Sometimes it's this. Okay. Sometimes it's just its own thing. Alright, so there we got the waterfalls coming down. They're beautiful. Okay. I want dark green down here on the bottom. I don't want it to be horribly green, but I want dark green. And I will pull out Raggedy the Rag. Raggedy Randy, that's what I'm calling this one. It's my preacher's name. He's not Raggedy Randy, he's just Randy. But see, you guys didn't think this was going to come out, did you? Woo! Fire in the sky. Man, I'm almost okay at this. So we have the bottom down here. That I'm taking it off of the thing a little bit, and there's always a risk. We'll do it like that. I was wondering what those stupid things were for. That's interesting. I've had this easel for a long time now, but I never knew what the Never knew what these little bad boys right here were for. I could pull them out and I can... Now this is going to be very blue up close. It's okay. It's okay. All right. I'm going to add some greens and blues into this water, just because I can. And it's going to be very lovely, because I'm going to come back. Now with you, you're dangerous. You're too small. You're too big. You're just right. All right. And this is, I mean, this is nothing amazingly difficult to do. I mean, it's just a couple clips and stuff. I might go back and put a little bit of white on there, but I'm going to come, let me, try that a little bit. Very lightly come across here like this. And I think that's going to be pretty nice. All right. So what do you guys think of this painting right here? I think it's pretty nice. Pretty. So I'd like to thank everybody who came today. Thank you, Coffee. Thank you, Noit. Thank you, Tricia. Thank you, Tomsky. Tom Sky Arts. I like that name. Thank you, Gallery 56. Elle, thanks for joining in. Christopher, as always, great to have you. And my sweet girl, Addison. Thank you so much for joining me today. Again, you can find this on eBay on the 59 cents, whatever, on the auction site. These will probably go for a little bit higher because I've taken a long time today to actually paint things. They go fast, and if you don't get in on them now, you probably won't get on them. So, but please come hang out with me anytime I'm on. And I don't know if I'm going to be on tomorrow or not. Maybe not. I might get bored halfway between services, but man, I just really love hanging out. Really love painting. Really love you guys hanging out with me. Find my work on Poshmark and Mike Tarver, and on eBay at MITAR_2742. Or if you just want to get onto my website, which will take you to both of them, that's MTARVERART.com. mtarverart.com. So it's been great hanging out with you guys. Love you all. Stay healthy, stay happy, and most of all, stay off my lawn.